Hello, this is my marine biology project 1 for my midterm exam. The question is, how would the ocean as a physical habitat for living organisms change if the average ocean temperatures were to rise 4 Celsius over the next 10 years? The ocean covers about 70% of the Earth's surface, as increased concentrations of greenhouse gases enter the Earth's atmosphere, mainly from the use of fossil fuels. The Earth warms, damaging habitats, both terrestrial and marine. The ocean is a major player in the fight against the impacts of climate change. It is the Earth's largest carbon sink. The ocean generates 50% of the oxygen we need, 25% of the CO2 emissions, and absorbs 90% of all the heat generated on Earth in the top layers of the ocean. As the rising temperatures melting the ice caps have led to rising sea levels, along with ocean acidification, which is the decrease in pH of the ocean due to the uptake in CO2, greatly damaging marine species and ecosystems, and also reducing the ocean's ability to absorb CO2. Another thing the ocean warming leads to is deoxygenation, a reduce in the amount of oxygen dissolved in the ocean, and results in sea level rises due to thermal expansion of seawater and the continual ice melting. Another result of the increase in ocean temperature would be more intense and frequent marine heat waves. In a horrific example of what marine heat waves are, it was the Pacific Northwest from June 23rd to 28th in 2021 on the Washington beaches, where billions of intertidal shellfish and invertebrate washed up out of the sand and came to the surface and just dried up and died because it was too hot in the ocean. On to coral reefs. Coral reefs are valuable because they provide habitats for algae and breeding grounds for 20% of all marine fishes and mammals. Zoanthides are tiny algae that live inside coral skeletons. These are crucial because they help sequester CO2. Much of the CO2 absorbed in photosynthesis is decomposed and returned to the atmosphere. But when coral build their calcium carbonate skeletons, in a process called calcification, they release CO2. One thing that researchers need to find out is the CO2 absorbed by photosynthesis more or less than the CO2 released by calcification. On a very important note, more than half the world's marine species could be on the brink of extinction by 2100 if a 1.1 Celsius increase temperature, as a 1.1 Celsius increase in temperature have already degraded 60% of the marine ecosystem, and a warming of 1.5 Celsius will likely destroy 70 to 90% of the world's coral reefs, and 2% increase will mean nearly 100% loss at a point of no return. A final important thing to touch on would be the bleaching of coral reefs, which happens when the algae on the coral reefs lack oxygen, and do not photosynthesize correctly, so the coral rejects them, and bleaching and losing all color. I think that about sums it up for the most part of my project 1 for my marine biology exam. Notes and sources that I mainly used were from a NASA um, article, The Scientific Research of the Ocean and Water Temperature Increase, a smaller research conducted in the University of Washington, and most importantly, reports from the United Nations Climate Change Conference and reports from the IUCN, Union for Conservation of Nature. Thank you so much for listening.